and welcome. My name is Vicki Haspels. I'm the Conscious Mystic, and this is the weekly forecast for week commencing February 27th, 2023. And where's that year gone? Each week I like to draw 6 cards from my deck, the Mythic Tarot, and give a forecast for the week ahead using the knowledge of the tarot cards and my interpretation of what to expect. It's like the spread I use gives us a nice little narrative about life and life in general. It's one of my favourite spreads, actually. So I'm just choosing the cards as we go. So I am somewhere, I can't remember, I'll put it in the notes where I am. It's a camp in the middle of Tasmania in the wilderness part, so very remote. Not really remote, but you know, it's off the beaten track a little bit. And it's a lovely quiet morning. It's a very rare quiet morning because a lot of the times lately it's been a bit windy. So I'm lucky. So I'm just going to jump in and do my forecast right now. Just checking my cards. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Oh, you've got 7. I'm going to keep that 7th card because you just never know. Okay. So the first card we're going to look at is where we're at, our conscious selves, and what we're experiencing. As I said, we may not, I mention this every time, we may not realise that this is what we're experiencing, but when we reflect on it, when we stop, we'll think, oh yeah, that's what's going on here, because we can recognise it. So the first card we have here is the Ace of Swords. Now, the Ace of Swords in this instance represents opening up of new ideas. It's like I feel like the word brainstorming is coming through right now, and so that means ideas are opening up, that things are becoming clear, and the pathway to what the next step is. I think it feels more like that whatever has been building up to this moment is all going to start making sense. So like the penny drops, it becomes clear, inspiration drops in. So we will understand that because we'll feel more settled. That's kind of, yeah, that makes sense. Things that didn't make sense start making sense. So the next card we're looking at is how our guides are going to influence that, how they're going to express that through us, and how they're going to show us and amplify that fact. And so here we have the 7 of Pentacles. So the 7 of Pentacles represents making, it's also called 7 are all about choices, but it's representing the understanding that the things that we considered impossible or out of reach, or an idea that doesn't seem feasible or logical, is going to start making sense. And so the nudge from our soul, from our guides, will be consider it. There are alternatives here. You are not sort of stuck on one path, and having clarity of mind opens up those possibilities to other pathways. And this is about what we do in life. It often means jobs, it often means our work, but it's how we value our time and what sort of energy we want to put into our time. So our guides, our soul, is going to nudge us in that direction to have a look at what our options are once this inspiration and clarity comes into place. And those things, as I said, that don't make sense will start to make sense. The challenge or the fear is this card here, the 8 of Cups. So the challenge represents that part that says, this is really what's been bugging us the whole time. This is what's at the bottom of all of our, what's going on here. It's that point of, or that tipping point of the hump we're having to get over. 8 of Cups represents surrender. It's that where that final straw, where we finally let go. So really, where the fear or the challenge comes in about letting go, that final straw. In my mind, I'm picturing that last little tiny thread of just hanging on to old ideas, old thoughts and old ways. And so that final thread is just going to break and let us go. We must face that though, and be okay about it and honest about it and lean into it. And it's not a happy time. As you can see, the 8 of Cups is a little bit sort of down and sad looking, but the surrender comes and it's like, you know, whatever, and we lean into it without any more, none of those concerns and worries. They have no more traction. They've got no more energy, really. So it's not like, yeah, I'm going to do this. It's like, fine, whatever. And so we surrender. And in that moment, the clarity will take over. And actually, in those moments that I've had, it's not the clarity takes over. It's like, it's like a burden is lifted off your shoulders. You don't even know what it is, but you just feel free. Life feels fine and same, but whatever heaviness was on the shoulders has disappeared. So, action, reaction. What's our response? How are we going to go ahead with that? Well, here we have the Seven of Swords. Oh, the Seven of Swords is like, shh, don't tell anybody. While we were figuring things out, our action is to keep it to ourselves, is to observe. So the moving forward, the making decisions about the next direction and surrender all leads us to observe rather than act straight away. We are going to look before we leap. We are going to not share what's going on, even though we oftentimes when inspiration comes in, we just want to go blah, blah, blah. We really are not going to just go, oh my God, I got this great idea, I want to do this. And I feel like it's because the Eight of Cups is in play. It's simply because there's been a really strong heart-mind struggle to accept that things aren't the same anymore, that we're moving on. And even though that's a good thing, oftentimes those beliefs that we've held on to that don't exist for us or don't work for us anymore, letting them go, good, bad or ugly, letting them go is still a grieving process. So yes, we're not going to shout things from the rooftops, but we will observe and see how life rolls out before we not act, but participate. So I would be very comfortable with that. It simply means it's a sense of maturity about how we're moving forward, because we're not going, oh, it's wonderful, it's wonderful. It's like, oh, I'm going to do this and just see how this pans out. And that's a level of maturity. So our possible future, what are we heading into? Oh, hello, there's, look. Wish fulfilled. In other words, that which we have been working towards comes to fruition without any effort. It magically appears. The Nine of Cups is a wish fulfillment card. In other words, by just playing things out and letting them play out in their own time, everything falls into place without any effort on our part. Sometimes that feels like a bit of a cheat, but in this instance it's not, because the Seven of Cups is in play. We get to watch it play out, and we then understand that it was always meant to be. It was always going to happen. That it doesn't require a lot of effort on our part to jump in and make it all work. We just let it be. And the Eight of Cups and the Seven of Swords working together just gets us to get out of our own way. So the next card we're going to have a look at is our soul journey. What is our spiritual journey? What does this mean for our soul purpose? What are we actually working out on a soul level? And we have the Hierophant. So the Hierophant represents higher ideals, higher learning. So in other words, we are stepping into, again, it's a maturity. We are understanding the maturity of our life. Doesn't matter what age you're at. We are all stepping into that comfort that comes with wisdom. We have done the understanding, we've done the works, and now we're ready to, and we're open to not just new ways of learning, but absorbing that into our everyday lives. The Hierophant he represents that higher learning or that higher understanding. So we haven't fully completed that journey of wisdom. I was going to say wisdom, of we're walking the wisdom. We haven't quite got to the walking of the wisdom part, but we're ready to accept and absorb and transmute that wisdom into practice and into everyday life. It also represents that you may find teachers coming into your life as well, in that spiritual teachers and sometimes gurus. So yeah, always say, this is my personal thing, is that no matter who your guru or teacher is, just make sure that they are working with you, not sort of trying to bring you around to their way, like to radicalize you, if you like, in their way of thinking. You want people to work with you, and because looking at these cards, you've already gone through the journey of letting go of old beliefs. So not to implant somebody else's belief system in there, but working and highlighting and amplifying what your actual beliefs and values are. You've let go of a lot. Now we're going to amplify the ones that work well with us, because we've reached that new maturity. So, as I said, I pulled 7 cards, which is unusual. So we get a bonus card this week. Let's just look at it as a bonus card, a message for everybody, regardless of where it comes from or the place in the universe. So here we have the King of Swords. Whenever the King of Swords turns up in a spread, it's about making sure that everything is in order, making sure that I guess paperwork is in order, but it requires a level of, because especially starting with the Ace of Swords, it requires a level of understanding that you have those correct professionals in place. It is like a professional person. So if your teacher comes in, they will be a professional teacher. They will have qualifications and certifications. It's all about that piece of paper. Perhaps that's why it came in with the Hierophant, is to let you know that your teacher will have qualifications. The spiritual journey is about reaching out or connecting with teachers and gurus and spiritual guides who have a certification and have already done the hard work, or have walked that path and have shown that they actually have those skills and can pass those skills on to you. Anyway, that's the weekly forecast for week commencing February 27th, 2023. My name's Vicki Haspels. I'm the Conscious Mystic, coming to you from beautiful somewhere. I can't remember where we are now. I'll put a little note up on the video. But otherwise, have a great week. Much love from me, and I will see you next week. See you guys next week with love from me. Mwah.